Most
Don't
PUA coaches are not qualified and should not be giving advice. Agree or disagree?
fucking absolutely, absolutely. It's like, oh, I mean, let me hear your thoughts on it first, then I'll go to my rant.
Every once in a while, because I have this entire community on Telegram and on Facebook, I like to do polls. I do them every week now. Great for
Polls.
research.
Yeah, yeah. The
Polls,
yes,
yeah,
I
the
get
pole
it.
dance,
Those kind of polls.
yeah, pole dancing, nice. Anyway, um, I did a poll a while ago. I think like the first major poll I did was about boot camps, and the result was something along the lines of 65% of people who did take boot camps at any point did not like the experience. So
Mm,
part of that is likely because of poor instructors, people who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, selling stuff when they have no expertise in that kind of field. I think there's a lot of pollution in the community, especially when it
mm,
comes to giving advice, but also when it comes to selling things. It's unbelievable the amount of scams that are going on.
yeah. I mean, I feel sorry for a lot of the guys because they don't see it as necessarily scams, and that's a very harsh, sometimes accusation for a lot of them. People say it's a scam, but they genuinely believe they have something to teach, and some of these young guys just believe in themselves and believe they can get goals and believe. But sometimes their students can't get them. I mean, here's another thought as well. The most basic training in the military, whether it's a 6 or 9 weeks, mine was a volunteered year for the Army Leadership College, but most guys, when they look back at that time, was like one of the most horrific experiences of their lives. It's one of the most powerful moments and catalysts to their change. Now, I always tell guys, look, hey, if you come to my boot camps, seriously, it's not for your ego stroking. Don't come with the ego, come humble, but it's a boot camp, not a fucking holiday camp. And if you really want to learn and change your life, and you're at the point of being on this boot camp in the first place, chances are there's a good bit of trauma there and a good frustration. And to overcome that, there's going to be some discomfort and the rejection and the emotion and just the learning curve, the intensity. Yeah, it's not comfortable for a lot of people. That's why I make a point. We extended our boot camps to have the extra Sunday. So we create this 90-day game plan of exactly breaking down with the different instructors after we've observed them. What are they going to do uniquely each for the next 90 days, 30, 60, 90 days to actually keep growing after the boot camp? And they're just little professional things you would do on any course. Somebody comes on a course. Somebody comes to learn windsurfing with me, and I see that you're a bit wobbly on the board on day one. So, and then it's going to be, let's say you're going to come again next Saturday. I'm going to say, right, ice in between. I want you to take the rig off your windsurfing sail, and I just want you to learn how to be on the board and just paddle around and get comfortable on the board. No, I'm going to give a different set of advice to the guy who's floating around and wants to learn how to do a carve jibe or a flare jibe. I'll teach differently, but only a professional instructor would understand that. Some will be intuitive, but if you've never been on a professional coaching course for windsurfing or skiing or football or every other industry in the world, they have a professional body of learning, and they show you the different metrics, because that is why, for instance, if Ronaldo leaves football, he becomes a coach, he will have to go through the FA, the Football Association FA badge course, football coach course, excuse me. And they won't like it. Like, I am a professional footballer, but not all professional players make great coaches. Just because you're a player doesn't make you a great coach. For instance, just because a guy, who is a bodybuilder, and he's going to teach you what he's doing in the moment. And the best example I could give of that is a lot of guys, like, for instance, I met some of the RSD guys. Oh, we don't do this, we don't do that. And I'm, okay, but you're teaching brand new guys. Don't teach them what you're doing yourself at your level. What did you do? What was the most impactful thing you did to start learning quickly? Oh, I learned a load of routines. Exactly. So if I went to Arnold Schwarzenegger and I say, hey, dude, what are you doing? You're so healthy at your age, for a 50-plus-year-old guy, boom, you're really inspiring. And he's, oh, dude, it's like kale blends 3 times a day. That's all you need. It's not working for me a few months later. Then I go back to Arnold and I'm like, hey, Mr. Schwarzenegger, when you were very first starting, what did you do to start putting some size on? Ah, that's a different question. Yeah. Meat and vegetable and down the gym twice a day. You see, but a lot of people, if you've never had that professional coach training, you will start recommending what you are currently doing because you want to flex what you're doing and make it sound good so other people follow it. But they're not at your level. They need to start where their level are, and you need to understand the difference. So if I go to the gym, I'm not going to observe somebody just because they like to go to the gym. I'm going to get a personal trainer who's been on a personal trainer qualification. If you want to learn football, you don't watch the volunteer enthusiast who can kick a football around and score a goal. You want the coach who can break down exactly how that works. I don't want to go out in the town where the guy just likes to get into street fights and he's a bit handy. Everybody knows he's the bruiser. I want to go to the martial arts class and have it broken down exactly what I need to do for me. So I learn the basics that he will miss because he's just trying to teach you because he doesn't understand the concepts. He just learned them himself. So yeah, whatever endeavor, whatever skill set in the world, you go find people who know what the fuck they're doing and learn from them. But these days, everybody's just saying they're a coach, and that's not right. I have a lot of coaching qualifications. Every one of my coaches go through a full 18 months and they can get deferred for up to 2 or 3 years, but it's a long journey. They've got to qualify in their pickup skill, multiple disciplines, theoretical knowledges of the multiple different styles of disciplines within the game, social skills, pickup skills. Then they've got to qualify how they conduct themselves as an ambassador, how professional they are. Also, they've got to conduct themselves on their coaching skill. Do they know how to give proper praise and break down? Do they understand that if you keep talking at the guy in field and giving him too much information, more than 2 points, well, he's now got information overload. You've spoiled his flow, and now he's taken on new stuff. So you don't teach anything new in field that you've not already taught in the daytime. You only bring alive, remind them what they covered. And, oh, yeah, I remember that. But you don't teach new stuff. You write that down on your notepad, and I'll remind them the next day. Hey, remember that girl you were with last night? The one with the big titties, with the big purple glasses? Yeah, remember when you started leaning in? Here's what you should have done at that moment. Oh, wow. So you'll teach. These are just basic professional teaching skills that the pickup industry just does not have. And yeah, that's just kind of sad. So, but it makes it look good because the guys are running around. But what they forget is that these guys who are showcasing their goal that they got, they're going to run around all day long. And if you want to learn to be a man, do you want to learn from a guy who can just run around, spend his life to get laid once a night? Then that same girl doesn't find him of value, lives in a shitty apartment, nothing else going for him, that he wants to be on the streets the next day, finding another girl, and she's gone. That's why none of them don't have them. They don't have any goals in their fuck funnel. They don't have fuck buddies. Multiple goals. If I turn up any city in the world that I've been, there will be goals who will come out with me. I will be pre-selected in those cities. But you don't get that by unqualified coaches. Now, I'm not saying that they can't help you. They can, but they will have blind spots themselves because they've never had feedback on their game. I met up with a guy. Guy's got so much beautiful passion, energy. He's a very emotional creature. He's a great pickup artist. He'll get laid pretty much every day. He'll spend his whole day on the streets getting laid. And he came to see me in Latvia, and we were having a meal on TGI Fridays. And he's like, he looked nervous. He just looked anxious. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Just chill, man. What's up? And he's just looking around for his next set because that's where his value is. He just wanted to showcase to me that he could pick up a girl. I was, dude, there's people all around you. The waitress is laughing around me. The adjacent set, you don't have to jump and pounce. And literally halfway through our meal, and he just jumped up. He nearly fucking gave me a heart attack. He jumped up so fast. But he jumped up, like knocked the table a little bit, a little clatter of knives and forks. And other people are noticing. They're looking around, what's going on? Because it was so fast and so just anxious. And he saw a girl, and he literally run along the street after her. She turned into an alley, and he followed her around. Oh, dude, that wasn't me doing it, but it was so. I'm at this restaurant, that's kind of like, outdoors on the corner of TGI Fridays, and people are looking at me like, "What the fuck's your friend doing?" It's so uncomfortable. And he had no awareness of that's how his game came across. Later on, yeah, he got the number of that girl. He's in the alley with her, and he's to the guys on the outside. They say, oh, he got a girl's number. And he was complaining to me later, oh, like she's not returning my text. Because, dude, she sensed you've got some miscalibration here. You followed her into an alley and you don't get that. Yeah. And you couldn't get a hold of her. But the guys watching that video, they think, oh, he got a girl. And I'm thinking, yeah. And then like within a couple of weeks, this dude, I need to leave here. Like, I think I've burnt the city out. There's a lot of places I can't get in anymore. But the guys watching his videos think he's like, whoa, he's cool. He's fucking great.
No, that's crazy because I had basically the same experience, the same restaurant, TJ Fridays, years ago. We were just having a few of us friendly get together, just eat somewhere, and this guy was like, "Oh, the waitress is a woman. Perfect. Let's get her phone number and all that shit." And it was quite uncomfortable the way he was doing stuff. He probably wanted to show off in a way to the rest of us and stuff like that, but it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, that's the things. Like my guys, they really like this waitress. I wasn't that into it, but she had a hot body, and I was trying to show them some of the Ross Jeffries, some of the connection routines, and I was just demoing them and back and forward. But in between, I kept occasionally, I'd just speak to my guys and I'd ignore her for a bit. And she feels more comfortable because she's not being worked every time she comes to the table. We did exchange numbers. That night she was back in my hotel. And it's just a win for the guys. And, we had a good night. The rule is leave people in a better place than you find them. But it's not hard work when you have some skills and things to say. And when you know how to DHV, you know how to add brag spikes without sounding like you're bragging because you've actually done something in your life. Most people don't. They go to the cheapest place in the world and try to exist and pull girls. And then you look on their Instagram, which is what a lot of girls will do, by the way, these days. So that's what I call showcasing your value. They meet you, then they go check your Instagram and they're like, oh, that's the lifestyle he really leads. And that's why girls flake most of the time. Because the guys, it's like his curriculum vitae, his resume online, his LinkedIn profile. They thought he sent in a nice CV. Then they check out his LinkedIn profile and, oh my God, this guy's a loser. And that's what happens to a lot of guys in the dating game because they don't know how to showcase the value. But more importantly, it's not because they don't know how to showcase it. It's because they're not living a good lifestyle. They're not going to interesting places. They're not having fun with cool people. They're just on the streets trying to pick up the next girl. So they've got nothing to show for their lives. And women very quickly, especially those of value, hotter ones, who have choice where you're competing with other guys, they will see that. They will see that.
What kind of programs do you offer, and what kind of guy should take your boot camp?
Well, guys who know they have some holes in the game. And the thing is, I remind them all that you don't need to learn the entire game. You just need to know what are the phases you're not very good at. Is it the approach and opening? Is it the initial stimulating conversation and keeping their attention? Is it learning how to brag, learn how to demonstrate that you're actually cool beyond your looks without sounding like you're bragging, storytelling, loading value? Or do you have to concentrate on the connecting on a date? Or you shit at dates so you avoid them? Like a lot of guys, they don't have the money to go on the dates, so they don't go on them. Or are you just really bad at building sexual tension? Find the areas they're weakest in and then just focus on those areas. And so on a boot camp, we'll help them define that. But before they come on our boot camp's ice, they'll sit with Papa, one of my senior coaches, and they'll do what we call a game analysis. So we'll talk them through and say, look, if you're being open and honest with us, we can give you some feedback, even free feedback. You might not even need a boot camp. But if you know you need one of those areas, we identify what they need, and then boom, they come along and we fill the hole. We'll cement that hole. And I always say, if I can help remove a guy's bad habits, but we have to identify them, because a lot of the times, 9 times out of 10, they'll tell us, oh, this is my problem, that's my problem. We'll watch them live in field, and that's never the problem. It's never the fucking problem. There's always these other things that they hadn't considered. And I even have to brief them, look, we're going to look for these bad habits, what we call your idiosyncrasies. And if we can help you identify them, if you're open to that feedback, and we can help you remove them and replace them with some other positive activity, some positive action, and you're willing to go do the work, you will get a level of game. I can't guarantee what level of game you're going to get, but it'll be a world apart from where you are right now. But you've got to be willing to do the work, not just the boot camp, but after the boot camp. So what kind of guys? Guys coming out of relationships, a guy who knows when he's in a relationship, he's too needy, a guy who is just getting average girls, or a guy who's spending too much time and get laid, but working so hard. I had a guy just 2 days ago on a coach call in LA, does all right, 15 dates with some Russian girl to get sex twice. And those dates are costing about like $200 to $300 at a time. Dude, a fucking escort would be cheaper. But because he has no game, he's got one little bite on the hook, yeah, and he doesn't want to let go. And that's the problem, is learning not just to get one goal, but to demonstrate you have choice, like she has choice. And when she feels it, and you genuinely are a guy of choice, and you might have to change your style, the way you speak. There's a lot of things guys need. So yeah, we can help a guy get laid. I prefer to work with more professionals who worked hard for their lives, that they're working hard. They would like to find a partner, maybe. And I always encourage them, don't get a long-term partner immediately, because you'll be needy within the relationship. Go out, learn how to have sex. You might not want or need a 9 or 10. By the way, the 9s or 10s, they need a level of social management that most guys can't handle. But learn how to go out and meet those girls, have sex with them, even if you're not going to stay with them. So that one day when the girl comes along that you really are attracted to, and she has the kind of personality that you would want to be in a relationship with, her beauty isn't the hold over you, because you're accustomed to her level of beauty and more. You're desensitized to that genuinely. And then you'll actually have a more beautiful relationship with her. So it depends on the kind of guy, what they want, what they're trying to achieve. Some just need to learn how to have the confidence to approach, improve their approach confidence. Some guys just need to have a few more things to say to keep the girl's attention, so that she's going to give him a little bit more time to upload and find out what's really cool about him. A lot of guys need, especially if they can get to that stage, they need this sexual tension. They need to learn how to have sexual talk. They need to know how to flirt, to change her mood, rather than just trying to, and touch her, which a lot of guys think it is. So sexual tension is a big one. So yeah, we appeal to a lot of guys, and we got the boot camps, and I think our boot camps are super high value. I know the super high value. I know for a fact that we offer more value on a $2,900 boot camp than anyone, where they get the academy for a whole year, 50 weeks, where they can dial in every Saturday to come together with other guys. They get a follow-up boot camp, so they can come along, like come to the dojo, go out and get some practice, come back to the dojo in 4 or 5 months, and let's correct any bad habits you've picked up and take you to the next level. So yeah, we have a lot of support structures around it, because we're not a pickup company. We are a professional training and development company that operates within the pickup sphere. And that's the difference. It's not running around to get laid. By default, you'll get laid. Go out, do the work, learn the knowledge, get the practice, get the skills, get the girl. But those skills are then for life. They're for life, those skills. If you run around with just feeling good and working on your emotion, if you feel good, then you'll just be up and down like a fucking stripper on tips for the rest of your life.